Hi everyone. Welcome to the children's program at Leaside United Church in Toronto. Today we are going to learn about some of the endangered or threatened water creatures of Canada and how to offer respect and care for God's gift of water and water creatures. For our craft activity today, you will need cardboard or heavy stock paper, markers, acrylic paint or pastels, aluminum foil, scissors, and a pencil. If you're watching live, you can hurry and gather your equipment now, and if you're on YouTube, you can pause the video. If you have your Read, Wonder, Listen Bible, you can get it too. Now we're going to light the Christ candle. Do you remember why we light the Christ candle each week? It's to remind us of the light of God that shines inside each and every one of us. Let's welcome Joan, who's going to teach us some American Sign Language signs. I encourage you to practice them with Joan.
Okay, hello. So I was asked to do some signing, and I think the theme is water. So there's the first sign. You make a W with your hand, and you tap it on your chin. Water. Sort of like having a sip of water. Water. Make a W with those middle fingers. Water. So now we're going to the ocean. And what's in the ocean? Water. So I make an O with each hand. That stands for ocean. And this is like the waves in the ocean. Ocean. The sign for fish, put your thumb across your palm and you wiggle your hand like a fish swimming in the water. Fish. Fish. So this is the sign for whale. Make the top of the ocean with your arm. Make your W hand, and the whale goes up and down in the water. Whale. I'll do it again. Whale. Protect. Put your wrists together and give them a little tap. Protect. Protect. For God, your right arm goes up like that. God. And your thumb is across your palm. God. And then I was asked to show you please and thank you. Please is like this, just a circle on your chest. And thank you. Please. Thank you.
Thank you, Joan. Did you know that along with providing a home for many different creatures, oceans provide half of the oxygen people breathe? Oceans regulate climate and provide many recreational opportunities like swimming, sailing, and canoeing. Every second breath we take relies on oxygen created by oceans. Let's listen to part of a passage from our Read, Wonder, Listen Bibles that we heard a few weeks ago called In the Beginning. It's on page 11 if you want to follow along, or you can look at the beautiful illustration from the book or close your eyes. It's your choice. In the beginning, there was nothing. No up or down, no near or far, no yesterday or tomorrow. Only God, here, now. Then came the idea. The idea came from God and was part of God, yet it seemed to have a life of its own. From that idea, all things came to be: light and darkness, time and space, energy and matter, everything needed to make a universe. God gathered them together and set to work. Out of swirling gas clouds, fiery stars ignited with a whoosh. Planets and moons spun together, and galaxies danced like snowflakes on a winter night. It must have been wonderful, dreaming, imagining, making all those things that had never been made before. God could see that it was all good. The idea kept growing. On the edge of one galaxy, a sun. Whirling around the sun, a planet, small, lifeless, covered in dark waters. Nothing special at first. Then the breath of God came like a breeze and ruffled the surface of the waters. Something wonderful happened. Deep in the seas there was life, simple at first, but then more complex. It was as if God could simply not get enough of dreaming up new forms of life. They filled the seas, they walked on the land, they flew in the air. Just like creatures of the land, there are creatures of the sea that are endangered. Animals like the blue whale, the sea otter, and the Atlantic halibut. We need to remind ourselves that we must care for the earth and water that is around us and all that live there. One group that is working to protect the earth's water is the Water Keepers. The Waterkeeper Alliance works to ensure every community worldwide has drinkable, fishable, and swimmable water. There are over 350 Waterkeeper groups. There's even one in Canada. While we're doing our craft, I want us to think about how we can be water keepers and also how we can help to protect the endangered sea creatures. For today's craft, we're going to make fish. The first thing we need to do is get our cardboard or stock paper and our pencil and draw a shape of a fish. The fish can be any shape you'd like. It could have a big tail, a small tail, a big body, a square body. I'm sketching out a fish here. It's a little bit hard to see, but my fish is sort of your standard fish. Once the fish is sketched out, we'll take our scissors and cut it out. While we're cutting out the fish, let's think about our first question. How can we be water keepers and help protect our water? We could conserve water by taking shorter showers, not running the tap, using low flush toilets, and definitely we could try not to pollute it. There, fish is done. I actually made two fish, a large and a small fish. I'm going to deal with the big fish right now. Next, we're going to get our aluminum foil, and we're going to rip off enough foil to cover the fish if it's small, but I found with a larger fish you need to do it in sections. So tear off a piece that you need, and I'm going to start by covering the tail. We are trying to keep one side smooth if you can, but if you can't, it's okay. So try to cover the tail as best we can, and I found it helped just to use our scissors to cut off the extra bits. There we go. We'll get the rest of it cut off the tail, and then we'll start working towards covering the body. Now, while we're putting the foil on the body, let's talk about our second question. How can we help protect the endangered fish and sea creatures? Well, like we mentioned before about protecting our water, we can just not pollute the water and not destroy the habitats where they live. We could use green cleaning products that are better for the environment and avoid using soaps and body washes and toothpaste with microbeads because microbeads harm the fish and sea creatures. There we go. Our fish is now covered in foil. Next, you're going to grab your pencil or anything with a blunt edge, and you can start sketching or engraving markings on your fish. So you could do scales or maybe do a design that you like. So I'm going to do circles inside of circles. You could do waves. You could draw the gills. It's up to you. Use your imagination. Once you have etched all the markings you want, now it's time to color. So I'm going to use markers, but again, you can use paint or pastels or your markers, and you're going to color that fish. So I'm going to color on top of my engravings, but you don't have to do that. It's, again, your choice. You can make it as colorful as you choose. So we'll quickly run through coloring the fish, and soon we'll have our finished product. If you want to make several fish, you might even be able to make a mobile out of all your fish. Be nice to sparkle in the sunshine. Oh, there we go, almost done. Eyes and mouth. And we have a fish. Oh, wait a minute. I want to add a little bit more color. All right, now we're done. There's our fish. I made the smaller fish with just lots of colors on it, and it's a little more crinkly just to show it can look like anything you want. It's time to end now, but before we go, let's give thanks to God for all water creatures. Let's give thanks for water keepers and all who care for creatures that live in water, as well as those who care for the lakes, rivers, and oceans. Let's request God's help in caring for Canada's water and water creatures and all they offer to us. Have a good week, everyone. We'll see you next time.